We're open to abuse. As Christ said to the disciples. Did he not? I mean, he was called everything under the sun. If they call the master a blasphemer and full of the devil, what are they going to call us? You just take it on the cheek. Just ignore it, turn the other cheek, go on, have another go. Oh, you finished with that one, I'll turn the other cheek again. You can have another go at that one. Huh? When you finish with that, you can have another go at this one. Our attitude should, don't care. I've told the truth and that's it. You don't like the truth? That's your problem, not mine. Your problem is that you don't like the truth. And God will send you a strong delusion. If not already having sent you a strong delusion that you should believe a lie. And the worst position you could ever be in is to be cast out by God into utter darkness or outer darkness, which is the same. Utter darkness. Absolute darkness. There's no light. And so you could talk to these people and it's like banging your head up against a brick wall. Because whatever you say doesn't penetrate. Doesn't penetrate the darkness. You can stand on the top of this planet Earth and cry out into the galaxy and into the universe as a whole. That's what it's like doing, talking to these people. And we leave off. We should have discernment to know, to understand where these people spiritually are standing. And of course they get aggravated, and their faces twist. But yes, if we're walking as we should walk, separated from this world as much as possible each day, we will be looked upon as strangers and sojourners upon this earth, expressed by people as, he's an odd un. Oh, he's an odd un, I don't understand him. Eh? And he starts speaking evil of you, like Mr. Innocence in the Pilgrim's Progress. Stood there besmirched. Oh, the mudslinging upon him. And I tell you something now, it's not just Christians that get it. Any person in this world that will stand up and tell the truth will be run down, besmirched. We have for instance, an example of a president in the United States, Donald Trump. The vicious, vile things that are said against him. And the media sits there, trying to create false stories to run him down, to attack him, and anybody else in this world that stands up for truth and for righteousness is objected to by this world. This world is evil, evil to the very core. And therefore its natural reaction is, when some person comes along or some institution comes along, to attack it. It's natural to the world to attack good. Jesus Christ was crucified. The amount of times that his life was put into peril, so-called, he vanished from them. And the only thing that this world wanted from Christ and from all good men is what they can get from them. And once they've gotten what they've gotten from them, to advantage for themselves, they wipe their bloody mouths and they walk on. They have no time for the person that has benefited them. They would rather see that person that's benefited them crucified. Oh, they'll praise their own. Oh, such and such is a good man, such and such is a good woman. Oh, they'll praise them to the hilt. When you look into their lives, they're demonics. They're praising their own demonics. That's all they're doing. And the thing about it is that these devil's visions in the corner promote the evil against these people, and people take it in and say, oh, that's a wicked man, when he's not a wicked man. Mr. Innocent wasn't a wicked man. But going through the media, through this medium of the TV and even newspapers, even the radio, Mr. Innocent becomes the most wicked person upon earth, and the Pope and the rest, and parliaments and governmental bodies become the greatest upon earth. All because of this medium. Now you'll say to us, what? Give up all the sources of information in this world? Do you really need the informations in this world? If you need them, it's at your beck and call, isn't it? Come on, we're living in the 2020. Huh? Can you not do as we do, as it were? If we want to know something that's going on in the news, go on the internet. Look it up. Just look it up. 99.9% of what is written in the newspapers and presented on the TV is worthless. Worthless. Absolutely worthless. It's just filling time and space and pages. It's worthless. Read the story. So what? The story about this person, blah de blah de blah, so what? These are things that we used to do in times past. The will of the Gentiles. The will of the Gentiles was to follow the Gentiles. We're the true Jews. We shouldn't be following the Gentiles. On occasion, some of the Gentiles will come up with something that is sensible. And we say, oh, that's good. That's good, that's true. I'll accept that. Okay? But as a whole, there's just one pernicious way through this world for the Gentiles. They want us to join with them. No, thank you very much. I'm a child of God. You can go your way, I'll go mine. Okay? And I'll go my way because God has chosen me to go my way. And it is my way as it is my faith, because it is a gift from God. To have my way means they are not in bondage to sin. And as long as my way is reflected of justification by faith, it's all mine. My life is mine now. Given to me, back to me by God. And I give my life back to God. Not in a neo-evangelical way, Arminian neo-evangelical way, or papist way, or any other pagan way. It's because I am living, a living soul, quickened. I therefore can give back what God has given to me. I can't do it if I'm a sinner. If I'm still alienated as a Gentile, as a sinner, as one under condemnation, prior to being convicted to conversion. You must be in the position of having been convicted of sin, of righteousness, of judgment to come, and converted, gone through great tribulation as it is, conviction, to find yourself in the hands of an angry God, and then come through and be washed in the blood of the Lamb. And once we're washed in the blood of the Lamb, come through the regeneration, the quickening of the soul, the full justification of the soul. And then we are able to give back unto God, because we're free from the prison house of bondage to do so. It is only then we can give back to God, and God gives back to us, and he gives it to us in the first place. And it's a backward and forward position. God gives us, we give back. So on and so on and so on each day. We submit ourselves each day to God. Give back to God this what he's given us, and God gives it back to us. It's a mutual thing. It's a relationship that the world has not got, and what we didn't have before this. You Arminian neo-evangelical says, oh, you give your life to Christ. When speaking of ungodly people, those dead in trespasses and sins, you can't do that. Only as a living soul can you do that. They always have it the wrong way round. And they say, well, once you've committed your life to Christ, just like they did in the Old Testament, committed your life to Christ, accepted Jesus Christ, then you must follow the law. No, the law comes first, and then acceptance of Jesus Christ comes second. They've got it all the time, they've got it the wrong way round. Revelation, come on. Revelation 15 verse 3. This is how we stand as Christians, as the body of Christ, because this is a collective. Okay? This is speaking of the collective body of Jesus Christ, reflecting each and every one of us. I am no different than you if you're in Christ. We're one universal body, we're one universal church. Chapter 15, verse 3. Talking about the church, this is, and they sing the song of Moses. Moses comes first. Moses is the schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ, that we may be justified by Christ. Moses. The Arminians don't want that schoolmaster. J.C. Ryle hated it. He hated Moses. Moses, he says, prevented people from coming to Christ. This is your beloved J.C. Ryle, John Charles Ryle for you. Spurgeon was as big insane. All these neo-evangelical blackguards were the same. How did they come in without having on a wedding garment? A profession, a Judas profession, a Demas profession, an Ananias and Sapphira profession. Eh? And they sing the song of Moses and the servant of God. Yeah, Moses, the servant of God. The schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ. Then what? And the song of the Lamb. The Lamb comes second. Lamb meaning justification by faith. The Lamb accepted of God from the foundation of the world, for he was sacrificed from the foundation of the world. From before the foundation of the world, that is. In other words, he was accepted as being so, that in the fullness of time he would be so, because the thing, the position, the event would take place. Note, it would take place. I'll say that again. It would take place. You neo-evangelical Arminians say that Christ was accidentally crucified by the Jews. No. That's godless. That's absolutely godless. And any person that says that, tell them, you're absolutely godless. Because the Spirit of God would never confess against himself and against God and against Christ that that event was preordained. Test the spirits to see if they be of God. Okay? You pseudo-Protestants have just argued with me, haven't you? Saying that, oh, you can't say that. The Bible tells us. For the Bible is for faith and practice. And you forget about the practice. Test every spirit. If a person says Christ was accidentally crucified, that person is not of God. We're all taught of God. The principles. The basic principles. And we build upon those basic principles. And Christ being the foundation. That we're building upon. The way, the truth and the life. And these Judaizers that say the Darbys of this world, the Spurgeons of this world, the Moody's of this world, that says that Jesus Christ was accidentally crucified by the people, if only the people had known that he was the Messiah, they're godless. And they'll double that if you like, just for you. Just for you. Alright? These people that say that the Jews, alright, didn't understand that Jesus Christ was the Messiah, look at it this way, alright? You are saying that Jesus Christ is a Socinian. That he was a mere man, that he couldn't express himself to show the people that he was the Messiah. So you've lost that way as well. And of course the Arminian, neo-evangelical believer and teacher and evangelist is a Socinian. He owns a Socinian Christ. An impotent Christ. Whilst equally putting man in the place of God. That man can choose. He's in bondage. Man's in bondage to sin. Oh no, you're not. So there's no fall. There's no evil in man. How therefore then do you, Mr. Arminian neo-evangelical, account for the sinfulness of man? Of the individual man? If the man isn't fallen in sin and iniquity. Oh, Spurgeon says, oh well, it's because of teaching. Eh? What? Oh, what? Get his sermon up on the internet. Little Sins, preached in Surrey Gardens. You listen to it. Man learns to be evil. Learns to be sinful. That's what he says. It's worse than the world. Even the world knows outside neo-evangelicalism that man is sinful. But here you come to a so-called sacred group and a sacred person such as Spurgeon and the rest of them, Moody, Christmas Evans, Tozer, that says man isn't fallen in sin and iniquity. He's not dead in trespasses and sins. He's not born, pardon me, he's not born in sin and shapen in iniquity. The wrath of God is not against him. Because he's a perfect being. He's just learning to be sinful. And you can go out into this world and the world will tell you otherwise. It'll tell you the truth on that particular basis. In that particular issue. On that particular issue. Okay? Because the stones will cry out. And the rocks will cry out. Inanimate objects, dead in trespasses and sins will cry out. And the church doesn't cry out. Christendom as a whole doesn't cry out. The rocks will cry out. The stones will cry out. There will be no ceasing. Truth will not be defeated in any manner. I don't know. What a day we live in. Eh? Strange we are in this world, we look upon the strange, and gladly so. And as we're growing in grace and knowledge of God, we should equally be seen to be even stranger. People look upon us, can't discern us. They think they know us, but when we open our mouths, they should see that we are different than they are. You know, a chap said to me once, he said, 20 years, he says, I've been studying. He says, psychology. So he laid down where he was coming from and he asked questions of me and I answered him. And he, the normal thing. Say the first thing that comes into your mind. All right. What I'm thinking, he says, just say it. Okay. 1 and 1. 11. What? 11. 2 and 2. 22 or 52 upside down.